These are the cars that even billionaires can't afford. From Italian masterpieces to more offbeat choices, these luxury pieces of perfect engineering are guaranteed to blow you away. Hispano-Suiza Carmen Bologna. If you want to turn heads while driving through the city streets, then look no further than the Hispano-Suiza Carmen Bologna. This incredibly rare Spanish electric hypercar is the perfect blend of super modern design and classic style. Its aerodynamic design almost resembles a roaring panther, which I'd bet was no accident. You can tell it's fast just by looking at it, but its sleek exterior actually helps with that too. The lightweight body is made with carbon fiber, which allows the car to reach even higher speeds. Its full LED headlights help bring it into the 21st century. If you're thinking it can't get any better, you're wrong. Inside, the car's luxurious nature really shows itself. The interior is basically covered head to toe in premium leather, including the handcrafted seats and even the steering wheel. It's finished with wooden accents and crowned with a state-of-the-art, high-resolution touchscreen infotainment system. Of course, in the modern era, no luxury car is complete without advanced safety measures. It has advanced driver assistance systems to ensure your safety. And let's face it, it's also there to make sure you don't accidentally back into a fire hydrant and ruin the beautiful exterior of your luxury car. By now, you're probably wondering if the engineering matches the design. We can guarantee it does. The fully electric engine boasts 1,100 horsepower and 4 electric motors. That's one for each wheel. That allows this beautiful machine to go from 0 to 60 in a mind-blowing 2.6 seconds. But if you're hoping to buy one, you might be out of luck. There are only 5 in existence. One is owned by HBO's executive producer, Michael J. Fuchs, who makes no secret of his love of fast cars. His one came complete with a custom purple paint job too. Obviously, with so few of these cars in the world, they're pretty much guaranteed to be crazy expensive. So what's the price tag? An eye-watering $1.9 million. And that's just a base price. We have no idea how much extra was needed for the purple paint job. That kind of luxury is a dream for some people, but others are more interested in speed. If that's you, then the next car on our list might be for you. Number 9. Delage D12. This impressive French hybrid sports car has the attention of enthusiasts around the world. While it looks like a car that only belongs on Formula One racetracks, it's street legal and pretty luxurious too. It sure doesn't disappoint on aerodynamics. Its sleek lines and lightweight body ensure it can hold its own in a race. Of course, being as low to the ground as it can is another feature that increases the speed. When you're behind the wheel, you quickly find out just how much of a difference all of those features make, because it sure is fast. With top speeds of 250 miles per hour, it can go from 0 to 60 in 2.1 seconds. And that's without upgrades. All this probably has something to do with the impressive V12, 1,100 horsepower engine too. Another interesting feature is the wheels, which have been specifically designed to funnel cold air into the brakes, which is probably a good thing because you'll need those brakes to be in tip-top shape to handle the speeds you can reach in this car. Open the door and you'll immediately notice that even the interiors have been designed with speeds in mind. Just like any F1 car, there's only one seat inside, so don't expect to be able to impress your friends with a drive in this one. There are some luxury features though. Of course, it comes equipped with an AC, but it also features a top-level sound system. However, if you're looking for the best feature inside, then look no further than the racing steering wheel, which has more buttons on it than a spaceship in a sci-fi movie. You probably need them to handle the incredible power offered by this car. But what's the cost of this breathtaking piece of engineering? Well, because only 30 of them were ever made, you'll have to hand over $2.3 million for one. To find out what our next car is, we need to step off the racetrack and into the world of gaming, because this one coming up was inspired by a legendary game. Number 8. McLaren Solus GT. The McLaren Solus GT was born from a love of the Gran Turismo game series. That means it will instantly become a dream car for some of you, but we bet its striking features will get the attention of people who have never played Gran Turismo in their life. Its impressive aerodynamics are noticeable from the moment you look at it, from the carbon fiber front splitter and large air intakes to the rear wing that automatically adjust for minimal drag or maximum downforce, depending on driving conditions. It looks at home on the racetrack with those features, but it's also street legal, so you're able to take it out for a spin where it'll get the attention it deserves. If its sleek design doesn't turn heads, the classic McLaren dihedral doors sure will. And let's not forget the quad exhaust system, which, let's face it, is basically just showing off, but in a good way. Like all cars built for speed, there's only room for one inside, but you won't be bored on your own in this sporty car. It's built for the driver, with a luxurious but ergonomic design that puts the controls at your fingertips. After all, most of them are on the multifunctional, leather-finished steering wheel. The powerful 5.2-liter V10 engine backs up the aerodynamic design, helping the car get from 0 to 60 in just 2.5 seconds. Only 25 of these cars are going to be produced, and some of them still haven't been made yet. But a lot of the ones that are finished have reportedly been snapped up by big-time celebrities, like Frank Ocean, Tom Hardy, and Jay-Z. And it would have cost them a whopping $3.5 million. Think that's a crazy amount of cash? Let's jump up a bit to find out about one of the most popular cars on this list. Number 7. Mercedes Maybach Excelero. $8 million. The Maybach is one of the most sought-after cars in the world right now. Diddy famously bought 2 of them for his son, but this one is even more expensive than the ones he chose. This Mercedes Maybach Excelero was interestingly commissioned by the German tire company Fulda as a specialized test vehicle to help them enhance their tire engineering. But some billionaires will be disappointed to hear that there are some things money can't buy, and this is one of those cases. This car is a one-off, and it will never hit the market. That doesn't mean it's not impressive. It can top 217 miles per hour, which was essential for pushing Fulda's tires to the limit. It's also surprisingly luxurious inside, lined with black and red leather and glossy black carbon fiber. It comes equipped with sport seats, which are pretty essential when driving a car that can reach those speeds. If you're wondering why it's on this list if you can't buy it, there's a good answer. Fulda paid a whopping $8 million for the custom test car. You'd never expect a test car to cost that much, but the next car on our list has an even more interesting background and a much bigger price tag. Number 6. SP Automotive Chaos. $14.4 million. Never heard of SP Automotive? You're not alone. But this new kid on the block is determined to get your attention. The Greek brand from designer Spyros Panopoulos is trying to introduce a whole new kind of car to the world. He calls it the Ultra Car. It's made with modern technology and utilizes advanced materials that make it seriously impressive. There's a base model, which is a lot cheaper, but we're not interested in that. This version of the Chaos is going to blow you away. Almost all its parts are being manufactured in Greece, often using 3D printers, including its wheel. Its twin-turbocharged 3,000 horsepower engine comes with a secret type of hybrid assist and can reach breathtaking speeds. Its maker claims it can go from 0 to 60 in just 1.8 seconds. It also has a lightning-fast top speed of 310 miles per hour. They're attempting to break every car speed record out there, using advanced and exotic aeronautical materials like Kevlar, Xylon, carbon fiber, and titanium. While it looks like it's built for a racetrack, and in a way it is, it's actually made for city driving, despite how low it is to the ground. Its interior feels luxurious, even if it is more about function than flashy add-ons. But the speed is worth it. The cheaper model is already crazy expensive at over $6 million. But it doesn't have all the features of this more expensive model. So you might be thinking the extra cash is worth it. But it's not just an extra 1 or 2 million. This car will soon be selling for an unbelievable $14.4 million. This brand is trying to make waves, and the price reflects that. But we need to jump up by a few million to afford the next car on our list. Number 5. Pagani Zonda HP Barchetta, $17.6 million. Pagani might not be the most well-known brand out there. After all, it was only founded in 1992. But the Italian manufacturer, created by Argentinian-Italian Orazio Pagani, is making a name for itself with its fast and ultra-luxurious cars. The most expensive is this one, the Pagani Zonda HP Barchetta. In case you're wondering, Barchetta means little boat in Italian, which is what Pagani said this car resembles. It's clearly built for speed with a carbon fiber body and minimized windshield, which are backed up by its position low to the ground. It actually stands at just 21 inches tall. With a top speed of 220 miles per hour, it also boasts fast acceleration, going from 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds. Yes, other cars on this list are even faster, but they sacrifice some luxuries to achieve those speeds. This one at least has 2 seats, even if it has a sporty feel inside. It's seriously expensive, but that's not the only reason you can't buy it. While the Zonda was the first car ever manufactured by Pagani, this model is exclusive. Only 3 were ever made, and that's partly why the last one sold fetched an incredible price of $17.6 million. We don't have to jump up that much in price to find out what our next car is, but this one is a much more recognizable brand. Number 4. Bugatti La Voiture Noire, $18.7 million. French brand Bugatti is so famous these days, they decided to take a surprisingly minimalistic approach to the launch of their new car in 2019. They called it simply La Voiture Noire, the black car. Normally, you'd need to be a little more flashy than that if you want to sell such an expensive piece of engineering. But this time, it worked. Just like Coco Chanel's little black dress, this simple form of marketing only lifted the appeal of the new Bugatti. It was perfect in its simplicity. But then again, it's not really as simple as it looks. Its carbon fiber body has been sculpted by hand, and it hides an impressive 1,500 horsepower quad-turbo engine with a top speed of 260 miles per hour. But don't get your hopes up. This car was a one-off. Take a look at how dark the tint is on the windows. That's because when it was unveiled, there was no interior in this beauty. Bugatti was finalizing the custom design with the car's buyer. Who was it? One of the greatest soccer players who ever lived, Cristiano Ronaldo. You can bet it came with a high price tag, and you're not wrong. At the time it was sold, it became the most expensive new car of all time. That's not surprising, with a price of $18.7 million. That's an impressive price for sure, but this beautiful Bugatti recently had its record beaten by another new car, which sold for $10 million more than this record holder. But what was it? Number 3. Rolls-Royce Boat Tail, $28 million. The Rolls-Royce Boat Tail has a pretty unique concept behind it. Basically, it's a coach-built model, one of only 3 to ever be made. What that means is it's a custom car but based on an existing framework. It features elements of the original boat tail, which was made in the early 1930s, but this one is completely new. It's nothing like some of the compact racing cars we've seen so far, but even though it's big, it has an impressive 6.75-liter twin-turbo V12 engine capable of 563 horsepower with a 155 mph top speed. But this one isn't built with speed in mind. It's all about luxury. Of course, because they're custom-made, it's not possible to show you exactly what the interior looks like. They're designed to fulfill the wildest dreams of their buyers. One of these cars is apparently owned by Beyoncé, but we can only guess what hers looks like. It must be pretty spectacular, which is what you'd expect from a car that cost a whopping 28 mil. At that price, it's currently the most expensive new car on the market. But if that's the most expensive new car that money can buy, why is it only at number 3 on our list? Because some old cars are overtaking its price by millions at auctions. Let's take a look at the top 2 most expensive cars ever sold. Number 2. Ferrari 250 GTO. $70 million. This classic has an interesting claim to fame that drives up its price at auction. No Ferrari 250 GTO has ever been crashed. But it has other things to celebrate too. It was produced by Ferrari between 1962 and 1964, but only 33 were made with the original bodywork. As if that wasn't exclusive enough, only 3 were produced with the updated bodywork designed in its final year of production. The no-frills race car was meant to compete in Group 3 GT races, along with other classics like the Cobra and Jaguar E-Types. Those both sell for a lot of money, but the Ferrari 250 GTO has become possibly the most sought-after collector car in the world. It won the 1963 and 64 Tour de France automobile, which might have something to do with its popularity. Even by today's standards, it's pretty fast, reaching speeds of up to 158 miles per hour. But none of that quite explains why it constantly fetches such high prices at auction. In fact, it's so popular that fakes have found their way into the market. Although it wasn't an auction that helped this car break records, it was a private sale. German racing driver Christian Gleisel parted ways with his 1963 model when he sold it to David McNeil, a U.S. car parts mogul, for an unbelievable $70 million. But just to prove how valuable this car really is, the one that was bumped off the top spot with that record sale was another 250 GTO. But even though that's seriously impressive, it's been reported that this Ferrari doesn't hold the top spot anymore. One car has been sold for an even higher price. But what is it? Number 1. Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR Uhlenhaut Coupe. $144.5 million. It's pretty tough to beat a Ferrari at anything, but in 2022, a 1955 Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR Uhlenhaut Coupe beat the Ferrari's auction price record by more than double. And it's pretty amazing that it was sold at all. The car was previously still owned by Mercedes-Benz, and the one that sold was actually frequently driven by Mercedes-Benz chief engineer Rudolf Uhlenhaut himself. And yes, he was the person that the car was named after. After all, he designed it. It was actually built as a prototype for a road-legal version of the W196R Grand Prix car. There were only 2 ever made, which could partly explain why it fetched such a high price. But it's also pretty impressive even today, with an enlarged 3.0-liter straight-8 engine. It's not super fast though, with a top speed of just 180 miles per hour. But let's face it, it might have sold for so much just because it's so beautiful. Outside, its sexy curves catch the light perfectly. The gull wing doors alone will turn heads, but that's exactly what you want when the interior is clad in striking red leather. There's no doubt it's impressive. But does it match the mind-blowing price tag of $144.5 million? Yes, that's more than double the previous record set by the Ferrari. We'll leave you to decide if it was worth the cost. There you have it. Those are literally the most expensive cars money can buy. Well, in some cases, no amount of money can buy them. But we all know that cars aren't the only thing that billionaires spend crazy amounts of money on. Before the car, most rich people will buy an impossibly expensive house. And these are the most expensive houses in the world.